My God. Yeah. Incredible, man. Kid's incredible. He looks great. Obviously a big step up in competition this time, fighting somebody 7-1, reach advantage, height advantage. And the kid's confidence in himself is unbelievable. His game is amazingly well-rounded. And, yeah, it was impressive.
You know, all the talk after his first appearance is why the hell didn't they just sign him the first time around? So by what you saw tonight, do you think maybe we did make a mistake bringing him back, or does tonight prove that you made the right decision?
After what you saw tonight, you know I made the right decision. I mean, you know, he got highlighted once. SportsCenter's been talking about him for 3 days. Come in tonight and performs the way that he does. Couldn't have done it any better.
Yeah. Now I
must say so myself.
Pat yourself on the back.
Apparently I must.
All right, so now the dilemma, right? The guy's 3-0, but he's obviously incredibly talented. So as you sit there now, what do you see as a career path for him? I mean, do you test him against, like, ranked talent early on? What do you do with him?
No, you don't test him against ranked talent. You bring him in just like you would bring in any prospect. You know, and you build him up, give him fights. And the problem is that there's no easy fights here. So this isn't like the boxing model. But he walked into a show where there's no easy fights. I mean, everybody here are killers. So if you perform the way that you performed here twice, you know, there's some guys that come in here and it's a rough go. There's wars and, you know, they'll squeak out a win or pull off a win at the end or whatever. This guy came in and dominated twice.
I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but when he was talking to Laura afterwards, he actually called out Khamzat Chimaev and said that's the fight he'd be interested in. So
let's not get crazy here. You know, it's funny. We were in matchmaking today, and you know, we were just talking about Khamzat and, you know, possibilities and how fucking good that guy really is. You know, I mean, you saw it in this last fight, Kevin Holland, to get beat the way that, well, Kevin expected it, but you know, for everybody else, you know, to see it happen the way that it happened, nobody saw that coming but Kevin.
Good call back there. The rest of the night, all finishes. I mean, you go with 5 contracts again. Any of the others names stand? I mean, obviously this was the Bo Nichols show, but any of the other names stand out tonight that you?
Yeah, I thought Mateus was fun, man. That guy came out and dominated. I like his energy. I like, you know. I love his confidence. Interesting. You know, there's a lot of different interesting styles tonight. This kid, Rafael, I love how he, you know, you usually get these guys that are ground and pound guys. Every position you move into, this guy hurts you. He never stops punching. I mean, the stats of how many punches he landed tonight on the ground were nasty. You know, like I said, the boys told me that Jack Jenkins is actually a really good kickboxer. He's on a 7-fight win streak. Be interesting to see him fight again. Sam Patterson started off a little slow tonight, and then he started to ramp it up. He looked good. He had some good submission attempts, and then ended up pulling off a beautiful sub, and then Bo Nichols. I mean, it was a fun night.
The last one of the season, of course. I mean, I know you love this show. So what can you tell us about the future of the Contender Series? I mean, is it going to be a full year at the same time? And you had mentioned maybe this thing will be on ESPN, the network, at some point. So what can you tell us about the next season?
Well, this season's gotten more attention than any season we've ever done. You know, we've been trending worldwide on Tuesdays for this season. And obviously, you know, the amount of talent now that's coming out of this show is insane. Now you're starting to see Canada just opened up, Australia just opened up. We met with some of the politicians from Australia today at the office, and now that that's happening, you're going to see a lot of these small shows, you know, pumping out a lot more talent this next year. So next season should be great.
Just a couple quick ones outside the show tonight. We learned that Aspen Ladd was released. You touched on that previously. I guess, can you talk about the decision? I mean, clearly the weight miss factored in there, but I mean, could she go to 145, or like, what was the discussion about?
No, we tried to work with her. She's a great kid. She's a really nice person, and you know, it's never fun when you have somebody who's actually talented. She's a talented fighter, but part of the job is making weight. I mean, she's not made weight so many times. It had to happen. So Not something you want to do, but something that had to be done.
Fair enough. And last thing for me, can you tell us what the heck is going on Saturday night that no fans, no media is going to be allowed in the building? We haven't seen something like this.
Oh, we just figured that you guys have been so busy lately, we'd give you guys a night off. Guys are here on Tuesdays, you're here on Saturdays. Kevin actually showed up today. I mean, we needed to give you guys a break. So you're welcome.
I'm calling shenanigans on that one. Let's.
No,
what's the secret?
You're welcome. If there's anything else I can do for you guys this week, let me know.
But Dana, that comes so soon because we have a week off in 2 weeks. So we can actually work this Saturday if you'd like us to. We don't mind.
Yeah. You guys just stay home, you know, order a pizza and watch the fights, take them in, and enjoy yourselves.
Will we find out on Saturday what the big secret is?
There's no big secret. I mean, we're just closing. Little troublemaker over here. I know she's been poking around all week and cryptic tweets and, you know, she thinks she's got something, but she doesn't have enough to announce it.
I could have just tweeted what I know.
I think it's just a nice change of pace that you're doing something for the media that, you know, you love.
It's you know, I love you guys, and I can't do enough for you. So
we can tell.
I just wanted to give you guys, you know, a nice weekend off with your families and relax and enjoy yourselves.
You mentioned Hamza and how talented he was and what potential fights there are for him. I think people have been talking about Paulo Costa and stuff like that. Is that one you're looking at, or what sort of names are we expecting Hamza?
You know, there's obviously the 170 and 185 pounds. There was a big beef today at matchmaking, whether he can make 170 pounds, whether we should even let him make 170 pounds again. And you know, so those are all the things that we're kicking around right now.
Which side of that beef are you on?
Well, I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. I'm in the what does he want to do? Where does he want to be, and what does he want to do? Does he want to make 170 and go for the title at 170, or does he want to go to 185 and go for the title there?
Going off that, Kevin Holland sort of suggested he's retired from MMA. I'm curious, have you spoken to him, and is that true, or what do you think he's feeling right now?
We talked about that too. Obviously, you know, I'm really close to this kid, and I like him a lot. And I think when you are competing in a sport like this, and you've done the things that Kevin Holland has done, you know, he gets out of the fight with Brunson and realizes that he needs to work on his wrestling more. So he dives in, starts working on his wrestling, and I think when what happened to him happens to you, I don't know. I think you lay in bed at night and go, holy shit, how did that happen to me? And, you know, he's an emotional guy. So I think his emotions got the best of him, and just take some time, get back in the gym, and whatever he wants to do, obviously. You know, I love the kid. Whatever he wants to do, he can do. But I think retiring is it's a little too soon for him to retire.
Thanks, Dana. Thank you for the night off as well.
But my pleasure, brother.
Hey, Dana. Now that season 6 is wrapped, do you have like a top 3 prospects that you're very high on?
I think the 3 guys that were up tonight for the video game, you know, off the top of my head, would be the top 3. This kid Mateus looks good. We'll see what he does when he gets in the UFC. The difference with Joe Pyfer is Pyfer actually went into the UFC and looked damn good in his first fight. So, yeah.
Are there anybody that you can see, like maybe Sean O'Malley status, where they can really break through and get...
Bo Nickel. I mean, Bo Nickel, 100%. Again, all 3 kids that were up for the video game. I mean, Pyfer's got a lot of steam. You know, right after that fight, I flew him out that following Saturday, and he was taking pictures and signing autographs that night. So you can imagine, I'm sure his visibility is much, much higher now.
The Raul Rosas Jr. from last week,
yep.
His YouTube video got up over 1 million views. His social media blew up. Like, are you surprised how much traction he got?
No. I mean, to be 17 and come in and compete the way that he did. And the reality is this show now, I mean, if you come in and you perform and you do well on this show, people know who you are.
Mackenzie Dern and Jianan is fighting this weekend. Is it safe to say, you know, maybe the winner of that gets like a Rose Namajunas?
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
And then finally for me, just last two, do you have a main event for UFC 282 yet?
Where is it?
Las Vegas in December.
Yeah.
Is it Yuri versus Glover?
We'll announce it soon.
And finally, are there any other American locations next year that you're already planning on going, like that you can tease? I know that you were looking at Seattle, Boston, Atlanta. Is there anything?
Not yet. No, not yet.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dana, when you're talking about Hamzat and whether or not which weight division you're going to let him fight in, are you having a discussion with him and his team when deciding this?
Yes.
Where do they seem to be falling on this?
That was the big debate we had today in the matchmaking meeting. One guy said one thing, one guy said another thing, and then I said, "Well, what does he really want? Somebody get in there and figure out what he really wants to do, and let's figure it out and let's make a fight."
Talking about expanding, and you said you're having now world leaders, if you want to say that, from Australia coming to the offices here.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, if you look at what we've done in the last year with Gates, and I mean, we're breaking records everywhere we go. We were on, this unbelievable sellout streak. So, yeah, these arenas, these arenas want us to come. So, I mean, imagine our first fight back in Brazil. Imagine our first fight back in Canada. Imagine our first fight back in Australia. It's, as we start going into these other countries and places we haven't been in a long time, it's going to be nuts.
What was their demeanor like? Because they had pretty stringent lockdowns during.
Yeah, I would say if you looked around the world, other than China, I mean, I would say Australia was the worst.
They seem to be changing their tune a lot.
Yeah, no. As far as they're telling us now, all the restrictions have been lifted. So we're looking at it.
And then last night you were on Tucker Carlson's show.
Right.
Had a lot of nice things to say about you, talking about the COVID and everything. You brought up Mike Tyson and the island he had access to. How did that conversation go with Mike? And
yeah, so he gave me the guy's name. Hunter and I called him, and you remember what island it was, Hunter? Antigua.
Was it actual consideration that, well, maybe?
Oh, I was interested in it, but until we got on the phone, they had literally no infrastructure. So, that was like the first call that we made outside of the United States to build like a bubble on an island. That was our first call. They were very accommodating. They were very nice people, but it would have cost a shitload of money to go there and do it.
And then what was also brought up during that interview is Trump said that you were pretty much the only sports figure that was essential in all of sports.
Very nice of him.
Yeah, obviously a lot of people do feel that that is the case.
If and when I ever leave, I mean, the UFC, like I said last night to Tucker, I mean, got a great team in place. Obviously, I hopefully have built a business that will last many, many years after I'm dead. The UFC will be very different when I'm gone. It'll be different, it won't go away.
But like you said, there's no near future plans in that.
No, I'm here. Unfortunately for you guys, I'm here to stay.
So when's the next season of Contenders going to be starting?
I don't know do you know, Lene? Yeah, don't know. I can't wait though. I love Tuesdays, man. This is a fun show.
What are you going to do with your Tuesdays?
I'll figure something out. Kevin, you came all the way here tonight. No questions? No? Well, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming. We appreciate it. And yeah, you guys done with me? Thanks for everything this season, you guys. We appreciate it. Have a great night.
Aproveita, sente-se, seja bem-vindo.
Oh, God. Look at the cat.
That's basically the way.
Oh, God. Look at the cat.
That's it. I needed to translate.
Clearly in a good mood right now. I guess just tell us what the emotions are right now as he kind of settles in that you're in the UFC.
Claramente você está de bom humor. Fala pra gente das emoções de estar agora dentro do UFC.
Eu sou um cara muito alegre, né? Gosto muito de sorrir. Oh, God. Oh, God.
I'm a happy guy. I like to smile. Look at the cat. Look at the cat.
I got it done in less than a minute as well. I know you were looking for a first-round stoppage, but did you think you'd be able to get it done that fast tonight?
E também ali, pô, menos de um minuto. Ou seja, você, claro, você estava procurando, você falou que você estava procurando um nocaute no primeiro round, mas você sabia que você foi rápido. O que foi isso?
Eu treino isso o dia todo, né? Acordo 6 da manhã, chego em casa só às 22 horas. Eu gosto muito de treinar. Então eu vim em busca do meu sonho, né? E não vim fazer... Eu vim fazer o que eu treino. E mostrei para que eu vim. Fiz o que eu treinei. Saí na porrada. Oh, God!
Só para colocar o microfone um pouco mais próximo da boca da próxima vez. I mean, it's just coming for a dream. This is something that I do not just every day, but all day long. I start at 6 a.m., go all the way until 10. I came to basically do what I train. So, I mean, the training and everything that we do, everything that we strive for, I mean, you saw it. And, of course, look at the cat.
Is this going to be a thing through your whole UFC career? Like, is this just a catchphrase?
Você vai ficar fazendo isso durante a tua carreira no UFC? Vai encher o saco do pessoal assim?
Sim, sim.
Self-explanatory.
I got that one.
Oh, God!
I guess tell me what the feeling is like, because you get the job done early. I'm sure you know you have a UFC contract, but then you got to sit around and wait for 2 hours to find out. So what was that waiting time like for you?
E como é que é o processo? Você chega aqui, você está na primeira luta, você vai, faz o que você faz e fica aí umas 2 horas basicamente para esperar o contrato sair. Como é que é essa espera? Ficar aqui atrás esperando, pô, fiz o meu trabalho, e agora?
Eu já sabia, né?
Pode aproximar o microfone?
Tenho muito fé em Deus, sempre que o Diego fala. Já estava escrito, eu só vim buscar o que era meu, vim brincar aqui, né, dentro do octógono, porque todo dia eu saio na porrada lá com os caras da shootbox e eu vim me divertir aqui dentro do octógono, mostrar pro povo que o problema chegou.
I have a lot of faith in God, and Diego Lima always says, I mean, you came here to get what's yours. I came here to have fun in the octagon. I came here to, I mean, I just came to have fun in there and do my thing and to show people the problem has arrived.
I love it. Last thing for me, I guess, what's the ideal scenario for your UFC debut? Do you want to wait till January and do it in Brazil, or would you rather fight sooner? What's the scenario for you?
Última pergunta minha é qual que é o teu cenário ideal para estrear no UFC? Quer esperar até o Brasil dia 21 de janeiro, de repente lutar antes? Como é que você vê estreando no UFC?
Vai ser a mesma coisa, sair na porrada, né? Vim trabalhar, vim ganhar dinheiro e dar uma vida melhor para minha família.
I came to hit people. I came to make money. I came to give a better life to my family. Alguma data? Quando for, vai?
Quando for, vai. Ninguém entende nada, fi.
You don't understand this, man. If it's ask me and I'll be there. All right?
Oh, God!
Not translating that anymore.
Mateus. Shoot Box is known for their blonde hair, but you went with blue. Why is that?
Shoot Box conhecida pelo cabelo platinado, cabelo amarelado, cabelo... E você, azul por quê? Azul.
Eu sou um cara diferente, né? Gosto de mostrar para o público, né? Eu gosto de ficar... Vocês me verem todo tempo sorrindo, sou um cara alegre. E vim mostrar que eu sou. Vim dar um show para o público. E gostei de pintar o cabelo assim, né?
I'm a different guy. I'm a different guy, and you know, I know I came to put on a show, and happy guy, always smiling, and you know, might as well. Just kind of looked at it. I was like, you know, I'm gonna paint the hair that color, so I dyed it in blue, and that phrase.
Is it gonna be blonde for your UFC debut?
E como é que vai vir? Vai vir de loiro para estreia no UFC? Que cor que vai ser?
Acho que um rosa, vai.
I think pink, maybe.
Pink.
Congratulations.
Parabéns, meu camarada.
Obrigado. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Congratulations on securing the UFC contract. Talk to us about how you're feeling right now.
Parabéns pelo contrato. Tá, como é que você está se sentindo?
Estou me sentindo ótimo. Graças a Deus consegui impor meu jogo. Estou 100%.
Feeling great. Thank God I was able to actually just impose my game and my style. I'm 100%.
The early grappling exchanges, I guess, had you planned to be in that, or was the idea to stay out of them and you just kind of got stuck, in those exchanges with them?
Aquele começo que foi aquela trocação de chão que vocês tiveram, que não parava ali, você simplesmente ficou uma amarração lá embaixo. É uma coisa que você estava planejando já que ia acontecer ou aconteceu? Bem, já que eu estou aqui, vou fazer meu trabalho no chão.
Então, o Elias era um cara do jiu-jitsu também, né? Um cara forte, que eu sabia que ele tinha um jiu-jitsu muito bom, jiu-jiteiro. Então, mas não é por causa disso que ele é jiu-jiteiro que eu não posso fazer meu jiu-jitsu também. Eu sou um faixa preta, tenho finalizações no meu cartel. Então, eu vou buscar minha luta, eu vou impor meu jogo sempre, independente de quem esteja na minha frente. E foi isso que eu fiz. Impus meu jogo, coloquei o meu grande pound e fui para ser feliz.
Elias is obviously a very strong guy. I mean, a jiu-jitsu guy through and through, but I am a black belt as well, so why not just go for it as well? So I can impose my jiu-jitsu. I was able to do my thing. When I got down there, why not? I mean, we're down here anyways. And I was able to impose some ground and pound as well. And just, like we like to say in Brazil, I just did it and ran for happiness.
I love it. Were any of the submission attempts close at all? Were there any that caused you any trouble?
Alguma das tentativas dele de finalizar foi um pouco mais dura? Alguma te deu problema ali?
Não, eu estava muito bem em todas as posições. Eu, na minha cabeça, estava um passo à frente dele sempre. O que ele queria fazer, eu estava visualizando o que ele estava fazendo. Consegui impedir tudo o que ele estava fazendo. Junto, batendo também, fazendo o grande pound, batendo, não deixando de bater para impressionar também, buscando luta. Então, em nenhum momento eu corri risco, sempre tudo no super controle. Isso daí, eu estava bem tranquilo na luta. Graças a Deus, foi uma performance boa. Eu estou muito feliz por causa disso. Só tenho a agradecer.
At no point I felt that any of those positions were compromising at all. I felt that I was a step ahead of him throughout the fight. I did not feel anything at risk at any time. I just have to thank for it. It was just, and then obviously not forgetting to hit him. So imposed that ground and pound, and I was there because I wanted to impress for the contract. So when I was on top of him, just making sure that I never stopped hitting him, and I have to just say thank you to these guys.
Yeah. Clearly, he was a very durable fighter as well. But I guess as you were hitting him, the ground and pound, did you sense him starting to tire, and could you feel that you were kind of able to break him right before the finish?
Claramente ele era um lutador que tem durabilidade. Mas você sentiu que naquela hora que você fez esse ground and pound, começou a pegar e os golpes começaram a pegar. Você acha que você deu uma quebrada nele ali?
Esse é um jogo muito intenso, né, cara? É um jogo que eu gosto muito. É um jogo de desgaste total. você fazer grade, você tentar botar para baixo, você meter o cotovelo, meter o braço, e se o atleta não tiver uma boa recuperação na perda de peso, se ele não tiver uma boa treinamento, ele vai morrer no gás, ele vai sentir a preparação física. E isso aí é o que eu vou sempre exigir, vou sempre cobrar. Então, o atleta que lutar comigo, ele tem que vir muito bem preparado, que ele sabe que vai ser dureza em cima, embaixo, aonde tiver, e eu vou estar para cima o tempo todo, andar para frente o tempo todo e buscar a vitória a qualquer momento.
This is a tough game. That kind of style is tough. I mean, just try to put people against the fence and just trying the takedowns, being on ground and pound, working the arms, trying to get off guards and things of the sort. That is, anything could impact an athlete that maybe didn't cut weight so well, and then it didn't have a good recovery off of cutting weight, might not be there. I'm going to come out with the stamina. I'm going to come out. I mean, that's an alley that someone's going to die on if they're going to come fight me. You need to be prepared. I'm going to go all the way, and with me, you're going to need an extra tank of gas.
Last thing for me, I guess, what's the ideal scenario for the UFC debut? What's the plan now? Do you want to fight quickly? Would you like to fight in Brazil? What's the plan for you?
Última pergunta minha próximo cenário, qual que seria o cenário ideal da tua estreia no UFC? Quer lutar o quanto antes possível, de repente no Brasil, dia 21 de janeiro? Como é que você se vê lá?
Eu estou pronto. Pode vir em janeiro, pode vir. Eu gostaria muito de lutar em janeiro. Estou preparado, me sinto muito bem. E vamos ver, se o UFC me escalar, eu estou aí, sou contratado agora, né, do UFC, então eu quero lutar, sou lutador. Desde pequeno sou lutador, sou um guerreiro, vim ressurgir, então passei por muitos momentos até chegar aqui. Agora que eu estou aqui, eu quero lutar, quero mostrar meu trabalho, quero ser campeão, quero dar orgulho para o meu pai, para minha mãe, e é isso, eu vou fazer isso, eu vou ser um campeão.
I'm ready to go, and obviously, I would love to fight in Brazil, but I'm a fighter. I've been a fighter my entire life. I want to fight. That's what I worked for. I've gone through a lot of things in my life, and I was down to dumps, and I was able to look at what I've been through in my journey up here, and just basically, I don't want to stop, and I'm gonna do everything. That's that dedication. That's what I'm here for. I want to fight. I want to fight it because I'm a fighter, and that's where I'm here, and I'm gonna be a champion. Good to go.
Thank you. Very thank you much.
Got the UFC contract. I guess give us the emotions, the feel that you got it done.
Yeah, huge week of emotions. I just caught Dana for a couple of minutes out the back and just sort of spoke about the performance, and I just said, mate, it was such a pressure cooker this week. I had some troubles getting a visa, so we ended up flying in late, and I got in at 10:30 and then got picked up at 6:30 to come here and do media, and it was all a bit of a whirlwind. But I think the Contender maybe is designed for that a bit, to try and weed out the guys who can't handle that high pressure. And, maybe it got a little bit to me in the performance there, and I didn't let my hands go or my kickboxing prowess show. But, I did enough to get the job done, and that was what I came here to do, is to get the contract.
Immediately after, even before you started getting Dana's feedback, did you think that wasn't enough, or did you feel it was? How did you feel immediately after?
Yeah, look, I was just a bit overwhelmed. I just thought, you get the finish. I think I 10-9'd him in the first, 10-8'd him in the second, and then finished in the third. So, on paper, in any other scenario, you go, wow, what a performance. But with the pressure that comes with being in the apex for contenders, you go, fuck, was that enough? So, looking back on it now, I was a bit disappointed, and my coaches both said to me, mate, pull your head in, you did very well. So, got the contract, and now the real work begins. It's Murderer's Row now, so time to pull the finger out and really get going.
I was going to say, it was such a dominant performance, right? So to see you kind of down, it really wasn't my best effort. I didn't really look that. You're like, you did. You look great. You know what I mean? So, do you find a way to let this go and be happy about it?
Yeah, my coaches will tell you straight away that in the training room, I'm really critical of myself. I'll get out of sparring, and if I do 10 rounds and I lose one, I'll just talk to them about that one round, and they're on me about sort of not getting stuck on that. And I'm pretty good at letting it go. So as soon as I leave here, I'll let that performance go and look forward. But I am very critical of myself. That's I hold myself to a high standard.
I mean, during the fight, was there any part of you that was like, why will this guy not go away? Like.
No, not necessarily. I just thought he played real safe. Like, if someone gets on top and he's landing those elbows, and especially when you get cut and you go, this is risk to get stopped here. I thought he was going to turn his back and give me some opportunities to get some chokes, or even try and open his guard and work back to his feet where I could get some openings there. But he was happy to just sit on the bottom. So I think I need to do a little bit of work on my grapple boxing. So I think my jiu-jitsu was good tonight, but I think the ability to land shots from inside his guard and put the pressure on with strikes, I could improve on that. So I'll get back in the gym Monday and really work on that.
Dana said he was actually meeting with some Australian officials this week. Countries opening back up, shows back in that part of the world. I guess, does that excite you to think about competing there? Or are you more excited like, hey, I want to be at T-Mobile or Madison Square Garden or what?
Yeah, I've got a bucket list of places I want to fight. You know, Vegas was one of them, so that's ticked. New York's another one. But, you know, I would love to go back to Melbourne or Perth or Sydney, wherever it be in Australia, and fight there. But yeah, I'm here for the ride now. So wherever Sean and Dana want to send me, I'm going. And once I get a couple of wins, I'm going to start saying some names and really making my way to the top.
Last thing for me, obviously, you wouldn't be calling anybody out yet, but as far as the debut, you know, we're hearing rumors maybe February in Australia. I mean, would you want to wait that long, or would you prefer to book something more soon?
I got to talk to my coaches. Look, my gut instinct says that I want to go in December, but maybe given that it's going to come to Australia in February, you know, there might not be enough time there to go December and February. So it's just about making the right decision for my career. But yeah, I'm easy.
Hey, Jack.
Sabin, brother.
Where'd your nickname come from?
So there's a famous Australian racehorse called Farlap. And Farlap was famous during the Great Depression for having a big heart. Just doesn't give up, doesn't stop when it gets hard. And one time I was rolling with a heap of guys, and I was only a kid, and we were rolling, and everyone sort of dropped off, and at the end of the round, I was left going, oh, who wants another round? And one of the guys looked at me and sort of said, oh, you're like Farlap, kid, you just don't stop. And then I sort of said, yeah, I'm Far Jack, and it just stuck from there.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And finally for me, can you share again how your coaches told you that you were going to fight on the show?
Yeah, so me and my coach Simon, we support the same football team. And he's always saying, come around and watch a footy, come around and watch a footy. And one day he calls me, he says, oh, you come around to watch a footy today? And I said, yeah, I'll come around. I'm just having a hit of golf. And he goes, yeah, okay. And then he calls me again 2 hours later, and he's like, hey, just checking you coming around to watch a footy. And I'm like, yeah, mate, fuck, like, I'm coming, relax. And then when I rocked up to his house, I was in the driveway on my phone, and my phone rings again. I'm like, mate, I'm here. Like, get off me back. And then we went in, we're watching the game, and at halftime he started showing me around the house, and he puts a fight of Freddie's on, and he was watching, he goes, oh, this guy just got signed to Contender. And I said, oh, really? Is he a featherweight? And he said, yeah. And I said, oh, who's he fighting? And he said, oh, just some nobody. And I was immediately disappointed. I was like, well, that's a featherweight in the last 2 weeks, so I don't think I'm going to get my shot. And we watched the whole fight, and then he goes, well, it's you he's fighting. And I was like, oh, shit. So, yeah, that was a pretty cool moment for us to have. I specifically asked my manager, Tim Simpson, if he could tell Simon, so Simon could tell me, because that's a pretty special moment for us to have.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, and congratulations.
Thank you. Anybody else? Do you remember when we met?
When? No, when was it?
UFC Liverpool. Dan Kelly versus Tom Breeze. I was with Dan Kelly.
I do remember that.
And you were doing Dan's interview, and I had to come down and bring him something. And I told you, I said,
remember now.
I said, you'll interview me one day.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome. Thanks
Sweet,
for reminding me.
Thanks, everybody.
Hello, hello.
The celebratory cupcake there you got going, or?
One of many. One of many.
Very nice. Well, congratulations on getting the UFC contract. I mean, obviously a big moment in your career. Just talk to us about the emotions. What are you feeling right now?
It hasn't completely sunk in right now. I'm on cloud nine. Like, if I'm honest, I'm on cloud nine, and I don't plan on coming off anytime soon. I'm going to enjoy the week with my team. enjoy some cake, soak it all in, and start preparing for what's next.
Yeah. In the immediate aftermath, it didn't seem like you were necessarily happy with the performance. I mean, now that you have the contract, does that change a little bit? Or, I mean, I guess, how do you feel right now about the fight itself?
To be honest, I'm my biggest critic, you know? If you see any of my fights, I'm the first one straight after criticizing myself for getting hit or anything. The pressure of tonight, maybe that was the factor in the performance, but me and my team know how good I am. And that weren't up to standard, to say, on my part. And I can't wait. I'm glad I got the contract. I'm glad I dealt with adversity in there. And I cannot wait to show how good I really am.
So when people try to say, it's just another fight, you know, it felt like anything else, that's a complete lie?
Am I allowed to swear up here? Or?
Absolutely.
Bullshit. I tell you now, that pressure out there is an acquired taste. I'm not complaining. I liked it. But the pressure is different, you know, and there's a lot of fighters that wouldn't put it all on the line and take that risk, and I did, and look at me now.
Yeah. When you're critical of yourself the way you are, I mean, does your team, you know, confirm, say, yeah, you're right, you got to fix that, or they try to tell you, like, no, bro, you're being a little hard on yourself, it was actually a really good performance?
Yeah, they 50-50. You know, we know how good I am, and it wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't bad. Like, every fight, there's adversity, and if I was going in there smashing everyone, then it would be like you get pushed to the top too quick. So my team I've got the right team around me that keep me grounded and keep me humble. Instead of me thinking I'm like the boss and thinking I can't be touched, because the last time that happened, I got touched and that was it, you know. So that won't happen again. My next opponent is always my hardest opponent, and yeah, I'm hard on myself because I want to be the best, you know, I really do. So little mistakes that people go, no, that was a great performance. I'm like, yeah, I'm better than that.
I like it. Well, you got the contract, so that's what matters. I guess now, what's the ideal scenario moving forward? I mean, you got a big UFC debut coming up, so I know you said you want to take a little time off and enjoy that, but, I mean, are you wanting to fight before the end of the year? Are there locations, opponents? I mean, what makes sense for you?
Yeah, for me, time off is tonight. That's about it. I love training, you know. Like, I love training. I love the whole thing, you know. So I'll be back in the gym, but I'm going to enjoy a couple of days with my team because I feel they deserve it just as much as I do for the sacrifice they've put in. So I will enjoy a couple of days in Vegas, eating some good food, some cake, and back in the gym Monday, making the improvements. We'll see what happens. If I get out before the end of the year, it'll probably be December. I like to stay active. I like to stay busy. That December 17th card could be an option back here at the Apex. But when they're talking about coming back to the UK early next year, do I run the risk of coming out and fighting in December and missing the opportunity early next year? Because I haven't fought back in the UK for nearly 5 years now, so it would be lovely to have my UFC debut in my hometown back in England.
Hey, Sam. Hey, you mentioned Fuck It Friday earlier, and we've seen Dana White eat a lot of gross but great stuff. What meals from that show interest you most to try for yourself?
Oh, where do I start? We'll be here all night if I start on this. To be honest, that show, I just love food. If anything, I just love food. But he done that one that just comes to my head. Some of them are, I would eat it. I'd eat anything, you know. I love food, so I'd eat anything. But the one that comes to my head is the France card. He done a s'mores, it was like a s'mores something. It was marshmallow melted. Oh, the thing just looked amazing. So if he needs someone on Friday to come down and be a little taste, test out the food, I'll be there. I'm in town. I'm here in Vegas till Sunday, so fuck it Friday all the way.
You've mentioned one of many cupcakes. Are you already visualizing what else you can potentially eat here in Vegas to celebrate?
I've been eyeing up all the food in Vegas for the last 10 weeks. I've been so disciplined. When I'm on, you know, I'm switched on. So, yeah, I send pictures and food to my missus all the time, you know, my team. I'm just sending food all the time because I just love food and cake. I brought a cake up here tonight just to show you a starter of what's to come over the next couple of days. If you want to follow my Instagram, you'll see a lot of food, that's for sure.
Are you a big cheat day guy when it comes to food?
Yeah, I don't even call it a cheat day, if I'm honest. The thing is, it's not even just food, it's cake. I can skip the savory, just bring the cake. So I'll be trying out a few spots in Vegas. Any recommendations, feel free to fire them at me. I look forward to all the cake.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys.
Well, welcome back, and congratulations. Obviously, it took 2 times to get it done, but you got the UFC deal now. I guess what's the feeling now that it's all official?
Man, I feel great. I feel just very excited and grateful for all the people that have put so much time and effort into me. You know, I'm super happy to make them proud and to go out there and perform well. It just means the most to me that I can put a smile on all their faces. You know, my family, my training partners, all my teammates, all the people at American Top Team. So, you know, wouldn't be here without them, and you know, just very, very grateful at this point.
You had a very positive attitude last time you were here, but was there any part of you that when you left was like, what the hell are we doing? Just give me a UFC deal. Why am I having to come back and do this again?
No, not at all. I was just excited to get to compete again. You know, for me, obviously going out there and winning is fun, but I enjoy competition. I enjoy going out there, putting it on the line, and having all those emotions and feelings, having to overcome all that stuff, and that's the best part of what I do. So, you know, competing again on Contender Series was my best chance to compete again soon. So for me, it's all about that, and I'm very grateful for every opportunity that I get to do that.
What were the last 7 weeks for you like, as you know, between fights? I guess, I mean, it seems like, I know you've kind of been in the spotlight your whole life, but I mean, this new audience that's growing and attaching to you and gaining a ton of attention. I mean, what have these past 2 months between fights been like for you?
You know, it's definitely interesting. I feel good because I feel like I've really built up to this point. You know, I think some people kind of get that, I guess, fame and stardom, like it's 0 to 100. And for me, it's been a slow build just through wrestling and all the time I've put since a young age to get to where I am. So I feel very confident and prepared, and I know how to handle these type of things. It's just been something that's, again, I've made small incremental steps to get to where I'm at. It's not been 0 to 100, and so, you know, I know how to handle it, and I have a great team around me, great people that all love me and care about me, and I trust them. So I just overall just continuing to improve, get better, and on to the next.
Did tonight feel any different than the first time around? I mean, was there a different comfort level, or maybe even increased nerves? I don't know. What was it like?
I felt more comfortable just knowing the process of what you go through just to compete in Contender Series, knowing all the people and the same routine. You know, that's definitely provides some comfort and stuff. But at the same time, there was definitely more pressure on this fight. You know, with me winning the last fight, and not getting the contract, and then having to win this fight as well against a much more experienced opponent, a much better opponent. But those are the type of situations where I'm going to rise to the occasion. You know, no matter what, I believe in myself. I know what I'm capable of. I believe in my team, and I know when more pressure there is, the bigger the moment, I'm going to perform even better.
How do you envision your career going, Bo? I mean, obviously you're clearly talented, but you're also just 3-0, which is wild, right? I mean, so do you see it as like, I want to be facing ranked contenders next year? I mean, how do you see your path?
You know, I'm a year into this, so I don't really feel like I need to rush. I am excited just to continue to compete and improve. I think by the middle or end of 24 that I'll be the champ and I'll be the #1 guy on the roster. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and I'm not skipping steps on the way there. You know, I feel like I've had made a great progression in my first 3 fights, fighting guy 0-0, fighting guy 3-0, fighting guy 7-1, steps up in competition each time, and I'm going to continue to do that. And I know what I'm capable of doing, so I believe that those goals that I say constantly are very attainable for me.
Last thing for me, obviously your official debut is going to be much anticipated, I guess. Have you had those conversations yet in terms of what you envision? I mean, do you need some time off now after these back-to-back fights? Do you want to book something quickly? Like, where do you want to see your debut happen?
I'm ready to go. Get me in there December. I told Dana and told Hunter, I said, I'm ready to go, guys. I'm on my way out of the octagon. I said, book me again. So hopefully December, main card, whatever event they have going around that time, I would be very excited to be a part of. And yeah, I'm healthy and excited and continuing to improve. So I want to continue to fight. And that's, again, like I said earlier, the most exciting part of what I do. So I want to get back in there right away.
Bo, to your right, could I? We were kidding at ringside how soon you would shoot, right, and get in there. But how does it make you feel, the fact that you hurt him with the left hand, you know, and then you finish him with your jiu-jitsu, right? It wasn't just you mauled him with your wrestling, but you showed different elements of your game. Did that mean any more to you to be able to do it that way?
It definitely meant more to me. It's exciting to be able to showcase those new things, and those are things I'm working on with my coach, you know, with my boxing coach Moose, my striking coach Barry Robinson, with Mike Brown, as well as my jiu-jitsu coach Marcel Ferreira. So, you know, huge shout outs to all those guys who are, you know, putting a lot of time and energy into me, helping me get better. Very appreciative of all of them. And yeah, it's nice to be able to showcase all the things that I can do, because that just gives my opponents more and more things to worry about. And I think all my fights I finish guys different ways. So, you know, I don't know how they're going to game plan for me moving forward, but it's going to be tough.
And just, you know, I know you were, I guess, kidding me when you called out Hamzat, but when you look at him and he has that great high-level wrestling, like, you know, how do you see a matchup with him down the road going if you were to fight him?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about as far as kidding, but, you know, I feel like that's a good matchup for me. You know, he's obviously a high-level grappler, a high-level fighter. You know, he's one of the top fighters in not only in his division but in the UFC. So I have a lot of respect for his skills, but I also know what I'm about. So, yeah, I mean, at some point, I'm making my UFC debut, right? Like, he's probably fighting for the title soon. So am I going to get that fight? Probably not, but I'm ready to go, and it will happen in the future, and I'll be more than prepared then.
Bo, you said you don't want to skip any steps as you build your way up through your resume, but is there a part of you that thinks, hey, I could be really special here and come in at the top level and just prove right away that I'm one of the best in the world and do something that no one else has ever done? Is there a part of you that wishes they would book you like that?
You know, I think that I don't really feel like I need to prove that to anybody or do it for anybody other than myself. So, and my family and my team, all the people that love me, so and that are close with me. So I don't really care to prove to other people, and I think everybody that I'm close with knows what I'm capable of and knows what I can do. So when the time comes, more and more people will continue to jump on the bandwagon. Right now, for me, it's about developing, getting better, sharpening all my skills. I'm always going to have a better wrestling base than anybody I fight. And now, but that's not going to, at the end of the day, be enough to be UFC champion, #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, which is my goal. So I got to continue to sharpen my wrestling and sharpen all of my other skills that I need to get there. And I'm extremely confident that I will when the time's right.
Hamzat's grappling is obviously like hyped up a lot, and what he did against Kevin Holland was very impressive in the first round. But do you look at him and when you compare your skills, just think these guys don't know what they're watching in MMA, and I'm going to come and show them, or do you accept the fact that okay, this guy's a great grappler as well?
No, he's good. I mean, without a doubt, you can't take that away from him. He's got skills, and he does a lot of things really well. That being said, you know, ask anybody that knows anything about wrestling and who watches the sport and studies it and puts time into it. I'm one of the best wrestlers in the world, and you can go in the Penn State room and know that still to this day, without having wrestled a year and a half, I'm still right there. And so there's just a different level there. It's like the same thing as putting a high-level, you know, I guess jiu-jitsu guy in UFC in an ADCC competition. Like, yeah, I'm good at wrestling. Like, I'm world class. It's different. So again, respect to him. I respect his skills, but I also know what I'm about.
Hey, Bo. There's two events in December that you might like. There's one in Florida, and then there's one at the end of the month in Vegas. Which one would you prefer?
Doesn't matter to me, either one. Probably the Florida event. I think it's a little earlier, so I would like to get back ASAP. So let's get it on in Florida.
And we've been overloaded by Dagestani wrestlers, Russian wrestlers, Jordan wrestlers. Are you happy to bring back United States wrestling?
100%. I love representing my country. I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud to represent USA Wrestling. I think that we have the best wrestling on planet Earth, and you know, a lot of our guys, our high-level wrestlers, aren't transitioning over to fighting. They're continuing to wrestle and show it out on the world and Olympic stage, and so I'm happy to really represent in the mixed martial arts cage. And so for me, that's something that I really hold near and dear to me, and I'm proud to represent just because that's been a part of my life, literally my whole life. My grandpa was a wrestling coach, my dad's a wrestling coach, so I was born and on a mat within a few weeks, and you know, that's something that I'll always carry with me forever.
Yeah, as you said, you know, there's college wrestlers either, you know, they go two ways. Do you hope that like they will see you and hopefully more will transition, or does everyone have their own path?
I think everybody has their own path, and I wouldn't really push people to fight if, you know, it just has to be what's in your heart. And for me, that's what's in my heart. That's what I'm most passionate about. And I think there are going to be other guys that are coming up, you know, after me that are going to feel that same way and that they want to go compete in MMA and show what they can do. And so, you know, I'm excited to kind of trailblaze that for them again. I mean, there's been obviously a ton of great wrestlers in the past, and now we're going to bring in this new generation with me as the first guy and hopefully, you know, dominate the entire sport once again.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bo, you mentioned you're pretty much born on the wrestling mat and with your family behind you. What was their reaction when you said, I want to be a UFC fighter?
Mm-hmm. You know, they were always super supportive of me. Both my parents, you know, both athletes. My mom played basketball in college. My dad played football in college. And my mom, you know, got some amateur boxing matches too. So they understand sports and they understand fighting. And they understand competing at a high level. So, you know, I think that I've always felt super supportive from them from a very young age. And I knew what kind of goals I wanted to achieve at a young age. And they were always there for me to help facilitate that. And they continued to do that for me. So, you know, I love my parents so much, and I'm very grateful for their support.
Was there any convincing on your part to bring them to UFC, or were they pretty much already there?
No convincing. They were like, let's do it. Let's get it. They're excited. They've been at every single one of my fights, and they're, you know, cheering the loudest. So I think, you know, they love the sport just like I love the sport. And it feels good to, you know, have that support and know that, you know, they got my back and that they are excited to watch me do what I do.
And in your post-fight interview, you haven't had your first UFC fight yet, and you want Khamzat, and if not him, you mentioned Logan Paul outside of the UFC. Why is that a fight that interests you?
I just love big fights, like big matches, anything that's exciting that gets me up in the morning and makes me nervous. You know, that's the type of thing that I want to pursue because that's how I know I'm really alive. Like if I'm a little scared and nervous to go do something, that's what I'm going to chase after because that's how I want to live my life. That's what's exciting and fun for me. And so I see Khamzat as one of the toughest guys in the sport. That's a guy I want to fight. I see Logan Paul as an amazing athlete and a guy who's doing huge, big things. And so either of those guys would be absolute dream to compete against.
Any other names besides those two?
You know, of course, I could go, do you got a list of the roster? Because I'll just name them, every single guy. I'm coming for you. You know, that's, haven't made my debut yet, you know, maybe some of these guys aren't watching out for me, but I'm coming. They better be ready.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much.